Let's talk about how do business loan brokers make money. There are different ways that loan brokers make money, and the way they make money has been changing over the years. There are right now more than 24 different lending options where you as the broker can make money. So I'm going to walk you through some of them. The one that worked for me, which was a merchant cash advance. Merchant cash advance is an advance on somebody's revenue. So if a restaurant is making $100,000 a month in New York City, they can request funding for up to $100,000. That's very lucrative. It is expensive. There's a high interest rate, but for businesses who need that capital immediately, and especially those businesses who cannot get it from any other source, it's an amazing resource, right? So you get the money in 2 to 3 days. It's a rapid funding option. So as a business loan broker, from the moment that you introduce this business to your lending partner to the point that you make money, it can be 3 to 5 days. I highly suggest that you compare that to any other business model, such as real estate. Real estate is in trouble right now. There are not many homes in the marketplace and interest rates are super high. And even if when things were subtle and it was moving in the right direction, the amount of time it takes for you to get payment, it could be 35 to 60 days. Same thing with the insurance. There's a massive clawback. You sell the insurance policy and you might not get your money back. So this is one of the products, like an emergency fund that allows you very large, lucrative money upfront and helps the business save the day. Either something broke, they replace it. Either they need to buy some kind of equipment or they need to make the payroll so that they don't lose key employees, or they need to buy a competitor, or like this time of the year, the holiday season, they need to stock up on inventory. So they need that money and they don't really have any other source to get it from because the banks would take forever and they would ask for the collateral, their home, their car, and their tax returns. In merchant cash advance, you don't need any one of that. So that's one of the options that you can get funding for your business, for your customers today. On average, you're making $2,000 to $5,000 depending on the size of the deal. The second option is you can help someone buy any kind of equipment or software. What is like the number one expense when a business is growing? They need to buy more stuff. If you're a restaurant, you're going to buy more tables and chairs. If you're in the trucking industry, you're going to buy more trucks. If you're in the construction industry, your equipment will break all the time. Or if you're expanding your business, you need more equipment to buy. So when you're walking into a bank with a request to buy an equipment, guess what? They don't really have a product for that unless you want to give everything to the bank, your collateral, the cars, the tax statements, and all of that, and they might be okay with it. But we have in the alternative lending industry a large lending network of lenders who fund equipment. It's called equipment leasing. So you pretty much, as the business owner, needs to know what equipment they're going to be buying, get the invoice from it, and get the funding for it from alternative lending business loan brokers. That's another way to make solid income. In our community, we have a lot of people who start out as a generalist, meaning that we teach them how to become a business loan broker and learn different funding options. Over time, they channel themselves into a specific funding avenue so they can become the expert. Because don't forget, you can learn information, but mastery takes time. Mastery takes doing the craft that you're working on. Very lucrative area. In our network, we have people who started out as generalists and now they are major equipment lending brokers. Anyone who's buying, for example, a yellow iron, trucks, construction equipment, like I mentioned, is a good candidate for that one. Third one is for a little bit of larger businesses and manufacturing facilities. Anyone who does works, provides some kind of service, and they receive a check in the form of an invoice. Let's say you paint a Walmart store. Your customers, they run a painting company and they land this large project and they're going to be painting entire Walmart. Well, as you can imagine, the check they're going to receive for that project could be $100,000, $200,000. I have no idea. I'm not a painter. So it's going to be a pretty darn large check. What Walmart will not do, they're not going to ACH the money into your client's account, or they're not going to give you a check that you can run to the bank and deposit. They're going to give you a check with terms, which means that it can be net 30, net 60, net 90, net 120. Basically, it means that I'm paying you right now, but you're not allowed to cash this before 90 days. Well, that's a problem for a small business who does painting jobs, right? Because you had a crew of 30 people painting this place. You got to pay them. You have the money, but it is in the form of a check and you cannot cash it. Well, we have a solution for that. It's called Invoice factoring. If you have an invoice factoring lender, you can become the broker that connects that lender to your customer. The lender takes that check that's net 90 from your customer, pays your customer the total amount. They take the little fees out of it. So instead of the customer waiting 90 days and potentially lose the company and lose the employees, so they can cash the check pretty much. And as a broker for finding a solution, you make your money that way. Now let's talk about real estate, right? So real estate is in bunkers right now. There's a lot going on with the real estate, but one thing is there's so many investors who are still buying fix and flip deals, ground up construction, multifamily deals, buy and hold investors. So there's so many investors. So market is super slow for those who are first-time home buyers, maybe for those who are second-time home buyers, but investors, they're looking for more deals. Guess what? If you're a fix and flipper, the bank is going to provide the funding for your first 2-3 deals. But if you're moving a little too fast, you want to buy another property, you're going to cause to be a high risk for the bank. And they're not going to want to provide you money immediately because they have their risk assessment and you might be too risky for that assessment. So at that point, we have an alternative lending industry, so many alternative lenders when it comes to real estate. They fund real estate projects in, like, again, ground up commercial projects, like commercial buildings, 2 to 4 family homes, cannabis businesses. So anything that is not primary residence, we can help people in alternative lending industry where banks would not help. That's a huge plus. The other thing is business credit. Many people start a business not knowing that actually you can build credit for your business as if that your business as a person. Many people make the mistake of signing contracts with a personal guarantee for funding while they're not aware that there is something called business credit and they don't build that. And if you build your business credit, the options for you to get funding, the credit cards, funding options open up tremendously. And in our network, we train people on that too. And as a business loan broker, you should be knowledgeable on how that works. Not only you can help yourself, so that the everyday decisions that you have about buying stuff should not be on your social security number with personal guarantee. You know how to work around that. And you can also help others do that. Another option, I know I'm going fast, but I just want to give you the diversity of all the things that you can do. It's not like an Amazon business that you're kind of stuck to one platform. You have to put stuff and find products on Amazon. Alternative lending, another meaning for it is creative financing, right? So small deals and large deals can happen. Like you can provide somebody up to $5,000 in funding or all the way up to $30 million in funding. All of these are possible. So collection of these different lending options and the commission generated from that is one way to make money. But that's an active way of making money. That's earned income. You put into work to make money, which is awesome, which is better than any other vehicle. But are we all just about making money by putting in the time? What about like time freedom? How do you gain time freedom without having to work for it all the time? Is there a business vehicle that allows you to at some point decide that, you know what, I'm in this funding business. I built it up to 30, 40, 50K, whatever your desired income is, but I want to get to a point that I want my money to work for me. Well, guess what? That's called partial syndication. As you become a more experienced business loan broker and you're helping your customers, you're brokering these deals, you're helping your customers get access to capital, you get to a point of having access capital. You're making good money. What if you can partner with the lenders and fund some of these deals yourself? What happens if you do that? Well, you're making a lot more money on the portion of the deal that you're funding. You're becoming a partial lender. In lending terminology, we call it partial syndication. You are submitting deals to lenders, and if the lender says, well, I will approve this deal and you'll make $3,000 out of a deal, but you want to make $5,000 out of that deal, and you learn how to, you understand the structure of deals, you can fund up to 25-30% of the funded amount. Let's say this lender is going to be providing $50,000 to this merchant. You can fund $12,500 of that out of your own pocket, but on that amount, you're making sometimes more than double. So you're putting in the same effort, you just potentially double, triple your income on the same deals. So what is happening? Well, your money is making more money. Obviously, that's only for savvier business loan brokers who have the experience, which we teach how to do that. That's the second form of half passive income generation in the alternative lending industry. Well, how do you get to a point of not working and having your money do all the work? Is that really possible? possible in this industry. It's called passive income, right? A lot of people talk about passive income, but you find out that it's almost never passive because you have to do a lot of work. But in this industry, you can actually do that. It's called full syndication. You can partner with lenders and become their financing partners. Obviously, this requires you to already have money, and you syndicate all of these deals, even if you're not funding them yourself. Personally, I started from the bottom up, but as a company, we do a lot of that, right? So we keep reinvesting our earnings back into the industry. We have a lot of skin in the game. We're working with lenders to reinvest our earnings back into the small businesses of the United States, because we believe in, as Warren Buffett says, if you trust the small business of the United States, you're not going to go wrong, right? That's what we're doing. We're investing back into our community. That's almost, nothing is 100% passive, but it probably takes 2-3 hours a month of management, looking at the deals pretty much. That's 100% passive income. So when you're starting a business, when you're adding a new skill set, you want to add something that has the longevity to give you your retirement, either officially or unofficially, or passive income. This is the beauty of this industry. Yes, when you're starting out, you can use this as a tool, a vehicle to generate side income, a few $1,000s here and there. You can use it to replace your current job. That's a very real thing. People in our community, hundreds of them have done it before. You can scale it up to 30, 40, 50K per month as a single employee business, maybe like a partial virtual assistant, but that's about it. Honestly, if you're making 30, 40K per month, I don't care where you live in the United States, you're going to have a good life. And this doesn't require 15, 20 employees at that level. We have many people who reach that level. You can become a lender. We have people in our community who chose to take that route, and they became the actual lenders with an office and employees. One of our lending partners who help our brokers in our community, they have, I think, 90 people or so. They have a big office, right? And the bulk of work they do is because of our brokers, the lending partners. So I just wanted to give you a path of like future pace you into what it looks like if you go all the way in. Again, some people will not understand it, but some of you are going to get it, because if you're in the what I call the survival mode, obviously your immediate focus is to generate some income. I was there. I was trying to make more money and I found a vehicle. But that if you expand your vision, you want to have a vehicle that can support that vision. If you start a business that doesn't have those options for total financial independence and passive income, guess what you're going to have to do? A few years from now, you're going to have to jump off of that vehicle and find another one. That's why people usually, while they're making money, they have a side real estate investment portfolio going on, or they try to start an e-commerce business, or they want to invest in stock market or crypto. Most people do not understand how any of those work. They're just dying to generate some side income. But the worst thing you can do is invest in areas that you don't understand. But if you become a business loan broker, you understand the rules of money, you understand how deals are structured, you're investing in yourself. You make earnings that you get to 15, 20, 30K, whatever, and your earnings are more than your needs, right? You have excess money coming in. Do you want to go buy real estate? I'm not against buying real estate, but do you really understand how real estate market works? But do you want to get to a point that you totally understand how lending industry works, so you're investing back into what you already know? So I just want to give you the full picture of what I mean when I say this is a recession-proof business model. So I wanted you to, with all transparency, see all the steps of this and how it can lead up to something much bigger than you've ever imagined.